Hey, today the plan is, well, okay, not the most simple, but I think you guys can pick up what I'm about to put down. I'll show you the most efficient way I know of for filling your greenhouse or entire farm with ancient seeds. With this setup, I'm able to get 100 or more ancient seeds every day. This means you can potentially fill out the entire greenhouse in a single day. Best of all, this is something you can do on all platforms, so whether you're on PC or console or mobile, I got you this time. With the 1.5 update releasing soon, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people creating new saves, and I know some players will want to fill out their greenhouses with ancient fruit. So let me know if you end up using this strategy and how it works out for you. Now, there's several ways you can get ancient seeds in Stardew Valley. Fishing out treasure chests, opening artifact troves, digging up artifact spots, slaying bugs, and putting ancient fruit into seed makers. This guide will cover the last way of getting ancient seeds I haven't mentioned yet. I'm talking about the 0.5% or 1 in 200 chance of a seed maker turning any crop into an ancient seed. With a little understanding of how the seed maker RNG works, we can manipulate it to guarantee ancient seeds every single time we put any random crop in. First things first, we need to know a little bit about how the game is coded. One screen is the code for the seed maker event, but the gist of it isn't too complicated. Whether a seed maker generates an ancient seed or not from any crop depends on 5 variables. Days played is simply how many days have passed in-game, and we'll get to that later. The unique ID is the file seed that is unique to your save file. It's created as soon as you create your save, and it ensures that results will not be the same for each person. The last 3 variables are the ones we're concerned about most: X tile location, Y tile location, and time of day. X tile location refers to the column or left to right location of the seed maker itself. Y tile location refers to the row or up and down location of the seed maker. And finally, time of day is the time when a crop was put into the seed maker. We can control the X and Y tile locations by moving the seed maker around the farm, and we can also control the time of day based on when we put a crop into the machine. In order to take advantage of this knowledge, we'll need a little bit of setup. You'll need a large clear area on your farm or somewhere like the desert or beach to do this. Of course, you'll also need to have seed makers. The more the better, but you can always pick up and reuse the seed makers as you go. Finally, you'll need to find a starting point by finding the tile location and time of day where a crop turns into an ancient seed. Unfortunately, the easiest way to do this is brute force. I recommend lining up some seed makers vertically, putting a crop in at the same time, and recording your results. This shouldn't take too long, and you can keep resetting your day and trying new tile locations and times until you find a starting point. Once you have your first spot, we can manipulate what we know about the seed maker to take advantage of patterns created by the input variables. For example, what happens to the equation when the time of day increases by 10? We need to find somewhere in the equation to subtract 10, so let's start with the X tile location. We subtract 10 from the X tile location to figure out that the next ancient seed will be generated 10 minutes later on the tile that is 10 tiles to the left of our original tile. This will remain true and consistent unless the total equates a time that doesn't exist. What I mean by that is that the time of day is in 24-hour format, and if we take a seed location at 8:50 for example, the next seed that is 10 tiles to the left is the 8:60 value. Since that time doesn't exist, an ancient seed won't be generated and the pattern will continue to fail until 9 o'clock, which would be 50 tiles to the left of the last ancient seed at 8:50. The Y tile location is a little more complicated to manipulate because the value is being multiplied by 77 in the code. What you need to know is that for the first few calls made, as we move up or down one tile location from a known ancient seed spot, there's a pattern. Moving one tile down, the value will change by 90, which is the same as 50 in-game minutes. This pattern is finite until the call being made reaches a certain number that you don't need to worry about. Ultimately, the pattern is often good for up to 5 or so tiles in a column. You can test 50-minute intervals to determine where in the pattern your original ancient seed location exists. We can now begin filling out a grid of ancient seed locations based on what we've learned about the patterns between the time of day and XY tile location variables. This will take some time to plan out, so I recommend using a spreadsheet and pathing or other objects to mark ancient seed locations. Alternatively, if you have access to your save file on PC, you can use a third-party tool called the Map Predictor by Blade. I'll link a video I did on the Map Predictor on screen if you want to check that out. Either way, I was able to fill my greenhouse with ancient fruit in a day and save a lot of in-game time. Finally, I want to mention that this pattern is repeated the next day with everything moved one tile to the left. So if you want to manipulate the SeedMaker RNG across multiple days, you can. So, big shout out to Blade who suggested I make this video. He's the creator of the Map Predictor tool, but he's also the guy I learned this strategy from. I tried to make this guide as condensed and quick as possible, but if you want a more in-depth guide on how the SeedMaker RNG works, check out Blade's Twitch VOD on the subject. Links are in the description below. Feel free to drop me a comment if you have any questions, or let me know how this works out for you. I'll be posting a lot more content as soon as the 1.5 update comes out, so like the video, consider subscribing, and thanks for watching.